has NDA government's foreign policy strengthened India's global standing? In February 2025, 73% said yes. That has come down marginally to 67%. So there is still a belief that India is a strong country. No say 25%, 27% now say no. So not much difference. Has India's global influence improved in recent years? 60% say yes, remained the same 22%, declined 15%. Yashwant Deshmukh, just explain this. Normally your poll is across the country. You go to a wide variety of people. Now, if I'm a kisan in rural Bihar, rural UP, am I really worried कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं China के साथ, Pakistan के साथ? Yes. In that sense, do these numbers reflect much more a middle-class urban opinion, or do they represent a representative national opinion?
No, I get what you are trying to say, but Rajdeep, trust me, every time in MOTN or in my daily tracker, when we frame a question and we go to the poll, that's the stereotype that comes to our mind, that this is an elitist question which probably only the urban, higher educated, upper income people will answer, and others will simply say, don't know, can't say. Maybe 15 years back, it was the right thing to say. You are right, but not anymore. We come back humbled every time with 70% sample coming from the rural countryside, with almost 60% sample coming from the low income group, and we come back humbled with the fact, the way people are so clear in their thought process.
No, but is it based on perception or reality? Is the answers to this question based on perception? Because a lot of our foreign policy in recent times has been about optics. कि हम यहाँ गए, वहाँ गए. The reality is rather different.
I'll give you an example, Rajdeep. Okay, let's just hark back to Yashwant and I when we did the political stock exchange on Operation Sindoor and the role of China. We had an overwhelming response in that, which clearly seems to suggest that this was a proxy war by China.
Exactly.
And the same audience today is not going to be very comfortable with the optics that are going to stream in the next 48 hours, Rajdeep.
People are very clear on the ground. I mean, common man understand that this is not actually two front. It is just one front now. It's the front.
I'm asking the second part. I'm asking the second part. The second part is, has NDA
China? You're saying China is the one front.
Yeah, China is the one front. People are looking at Pakistan.
But Yashwant, if you would have done this poll maybe a month or 2 months later, or you should be doing it, you will see that there is going to be a huge change in how people are thinking. Because our foreign policy, although on the second part, whether our global standing has improved, absolutely. Because the world does not consist of only China and America. Of course, yes. It is the entire global south, where India and Africa, where India is shining, India is looking great. But are we unraveling? Is our foreign policy unraveling? Absolutely. Go to the number on Bangladesh. You are talking about the nexus. What worries me is Bangladesh. That Bangladesh is sitting there in that nexus. Where did we go wrong? And people are not looking at that nuance. We went absolutely wrong in our neighborhood.
Again, let me ask you this. Is there a recognition, as someone who tracks diplomacy on a daily basis, is there a recognition? There will be diplomats, the people, your sources listening to you. Here is the diplomatic editor of India Today saying our foreign policy is unraveling. You've got to be careful when you say that. They will say, what is this, Geeta?
Rajdeep, I'll stick to what I'm saying. They are
Rajdeep is only too glad that you're going to be put on the spot and not him in this debate.
No, but I repeat myself, there is no admission of that recognition. There are some
because the public believes that our global influence has risen. Our public believes that our foreign
global influence and regional security challenges. So there are anxieties when they talk about this new axis.
And look, we should also be mindful about the fact that we live in a troubled neighborhood, and this troubled neighborhood. The troubled neighborhood. We have the troubled neighborhood, and we always try and judge things based on the outcomes. Since till the time we had a favorable government or so-called supportive government in Dhaka, we were very happy that we have managed at least one front. Dhaka, we have solved our borders.
No, but can I ask you this? Just a minute. Can I ask you this? If the same public is to be informed, because a lot of this is also about narrative building, but if they were informed post-Operation Sindoor, there will be those who will ask, how is it that if our global standing is so high, the world hasn't ostracized Pakistan in the manner that they should have post-Pahalgam? Instead, Asim Munir gets wined and dined in the White House, that Pakistan is on a counter-terrorism committee of the Security Council. That may be out of India's hands, I agree.
That means
but
the communication...
the point I asked Sandeep is that you know, it's one thing to win the perception war among the citizens saying, hum to bade muscular hai, we are Vishwa Guru. But the reality, is there a mismatch between perception and the reality on the ground? And will that, even as Geeta says, one day we will have to start sort of smelling the coffee and accepting what's happening around us. You've got Bangladesh, a country which was very friendly to us till a couple of years ago, now being seen as a frenemy or whatever you
what
want to call
happened,
it.
you know, Rajiv, very quickly, firstly, the relations between India and China has moved on from bhai to buy, B-U-Y, B-U-Y. We are looking at how we can access the Chinese markets, right? So that's a very big challenge for us. And I think that is what Prime Minister Modi is going to be talking to Xi Jinping. Give our businessmen access to your markets. And this is not an overnight decision of China that Trump said something and therefore Prime Minister Modi went to China. This thaw has been going on since Kazan
Where
last
does it leave
year.
Galwan? Where does it leave the scars of Galwan? Are we saying 5 years was enough to forget Galwan?
We will never forget Galwan, Rajdeep. This will continue for decades. But the point is that trust but verify with China. We have to ensure that, you know, we are prisoners of geography at the end of the day.
Yes.
That's India and China. We cannot choose our neighbors. Unfortunately, we are in the place that we are in with Pakistan on one side and China on another. And we have to manage that relationship.
Play Pakistan because they are our
Exactly my
neighbors.
point.
We have to
if
manage
you
this
remember
relationship.
Galwan, then you should, if you are convenient with the Galwan and still engage China, then why do the same standards not apply
Apples
on the
and
other
oranges.
side? I'm
Apples
telling you,
and
I know,
oranges.
terrorism, right?
Yes.
I'm saying that the new normal has been created now. This was not the new normal where you speak hate all the time. There has been a huge drastic shift and change. This language that we're talking about, no, it's new and this is different. No, we've suffered terrorism for years.
but can I-
we should have done it long ago. This new normal of hate
Absolutely.
is only now.
Can we end this debate by asking the question, as I said earlier, one of the successes of the Modi regime over the last 11 years is to have shown that we have a muscular diplomacy. We will look the world in the eye if necessary. We will stand up for Indian interests, and contrasted it with Manmohan Singh, who this government says was weak, who bartered in a way India's interests, will cite Sharm el-Sheikh, will cite our policies post 2611. I repeat, is the reality catching up? We need to tone down a rhetoric. It may help you win votes in an election to say that we are a Vishwa Guru. The reality is that we are in a multipolar world that is rapidly changing all the time. We don't have a control over what Donald Trump says. We don't have a control over what China will do next. The world is a very different, difficult place.
Rajdeep, where is it changing? Look at the numbers. Where the domestic audience is concerned.
Domestic audience is saying,
so exactly.
giving
So
more Modi.
is it changing? No. The domestic audience really does believe that we are a big global influence.
So I'm asking you
Which
whether
we
that's
are.
a trap.
No, but
that
it's
at one
we
level,
are.
that's a trap that we go ourselves.
Exactly,
Both
I
can
agree.
be together.
Both can be
While
together.
While
That's
India
what I'm saying.
has
That's
big
exactly
global
what I'm saying.
influence, you can also be concerned and have anxiety over this news axis.
Exactly, and it is not mutually exclusive in that
No,
way.
we
It
are
can
the
go
global
hand in hand.
influence.
Rajdeep, we must understand that public appreciates that we have kind of arrived. We are no more that, pushover that we used to be. But at the same time, there are
And the world
anxieties.
wishes to engage with India at the same
And there is a realization among the masses, the better you do, the more challenges you are supposed to face.
Absolutely. No rise is
That's it.
uncontested.
Yeah,
The rise
exactly.
will be
And
contested.
public understands this and appreciates this point.